A lot of a lot of positives to draw out of this. The slow start was, I'm sure, discouraging, but the kids seemed to get better as the day went along.
Yeah, that was a focal point. I mean, we've got a good football team, but we've got young kids in key positions, namely the secondary, which was a real big concern for us coming into this, because we've got young kids that have never played in the varsity secondary before. And when you play a team first game Potosi, they're not going to line up in just one or two formations where the kids can get locked in and start building some confidence. They're coming out, two backs, one snap. The very next snap, they're full house. The very next snap, they're going empty, looking to throw bubbles and those types of things. And those kids have to think. You can't just line up in one coverage and be sound against all that. So there's a lot of shifting and maneuvering by our secondary that got us out of position a lot. And they were able to make plays on it when we were out of position. Some things. We did settle down. We made adjustments against their inside run game, and our kids, for the most part, kind of adapted. They caught us on some draws, but again, we were out of position because of the multi-formations. And that's tough coming into a game, because obviously Mark's not showing you anything in the scrimmage. He's not showing you any of that stuff. He's lining up in his wing tee in the scrimmage. And so it's a guessing game. It's not that we didn't prepare for trips and doubles and all that type of stuff. We knew they would throw the bubbles, but it was a guessing game. And so our secondary was a concern, and we kind of got blitzed there a little bit, but they did learn and they did get better, and they'll get better as the season goes on. So this is a good football team to start off with, Potosi. And I know from watching today, we're going to get a lot better as the season goes on. We're not bad,
right,
but we're going to get a lot better as the season goes on.
Well, you were concerned about your passing game coming in, and I know it took a while for you to go to that and a little bit for it to take hold, but you started to make, complete a few passes, and I thought at that point is when Sweeney especially really started to be able to run stronger.
Started to loosen some things up. I mean, our big point in the first half, they showed some pressure off the edges where our tackles weren't able to kick step and get back in position. They were just speed rushing, beating us off the edge. That kind of scared us off the passing game a little bit in that first half. We weren't having much success. Second half, we started chipping on those defensive ends a little bit, and it gave him just a little bit more time. But yeah, it opened up a few things. We're, again, running back crew. It's an all-new running back crew. They don't quite understand exactly what the blocking schemes are right now. They're not quite making their cuts the way they need to make. We weren't able to get any big plays. I mean, that was the big difference. They got the big plays. I think they had 4 big plays and 4 touchdowns, really. Otherwise, they were contained fairly well. We just were not able to spring anything on them, and I think that's a lot to do with their hustle, but also their speed. They're a very fast football team. I knew they had a few fast guys, but across the board, they're pretty fast. They're pretty quick. They get off blocks really well, and I'd like to face them again. So that's a possibility.
Maybe in week 9 or 10 of the season?
That's a possibility.
All right. And you mentioned their team speed on this carpet. It was kind of exacerbated, and then Jace Udelhofen really, after the right kid had the big touchdown, it just seemed like Jace was
well, he's
doing
a quick
a lot.
Kid. I mean, he's no secret. I mean, he's a fast kid. He's quick. He's got good feet. Made some nice cuts, but you can't give him that kind of space either. We always talk about squeezing down and making our running lanes small, and we did not do that. He had a lot of space to maneuver and make some nice cuts, and you can't give a kid that kind of room. I'd be honest, our main focal point really was the tight end. We were concerned about the tight end size, him getting vertical on us, and I think that slowed our safeties down just a little bit, coming up and helping in those alleys, because we did focus a lot on the Langkamp kid, who's a pretty impressive athlete. So, but we settled down and made it a better game in the second half.